Hi everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel. Well, I have more progress on the Revell 1981 Camaro Z28. I've got most everything painted and cleared, actually, including the body. I'll show you some quick steps on how I mixed up the Createx Opaque White for it. I even got the clear, like I said, the clear on the body. The tires are painted, stuff like that. So let me show you some of the progress I've made. Okay, so today I'm going to mix up some Createx Opaque White to paint the 81 Z28. So we shake it up really good. It's already been shaken a few times. Get ready for the video. I've got a medicine cup with some measurements on it. I'm going to take the paint up to 10 cc's, and then I'll probably end up after the thinner to about 15. Okay, so we'll drop the paint in first. I don't know how much I'm going to need. I'm going to go ahead and throw it to 10. It's opaque, so we'll see what we need. Normally on this, I would say use the brand's reducer, the thinner. Okay, I had usually used the 4021 or the 4011. The 4011 I think has been discontinued, or they still have it, but they have a new one, a 4021, and I'm pretty sure the 4021 already has retarder added into it. I don't believe the 4011 does. I have not used the 4021 yet, so I don't know. I actually have run out, and I have not re-upped it, because what I use, and you can try it, but you know, I still recommend using their reducer, is my thinner mixture for acrylics, which is 3 parts distilled water, 1 part isopropyl alcohol, 91%. I suggest the 91%. And I usually make an 8-ounce batch at a time, so between 6 and 8 drops of glycerin. This is just a vegetable based. It's very slippery, okay, but usually right around 1 drop per ounce of my thinner solution, I will do the glycerin. So that is my concoction, and that's what I've been using with Createx, because let's be honest, these name brand reducers are not cheap, and this works well for me. Like I said, I can't guarantee it's going to work well for you, but it works for me. Okay, I'm going to take that to the 15. Now I just use popsicle sticks, craft sticks, to stir this stuff. When there's a big amount like this, I use a popsicle stick. When there's a smaller amount, I use little coffee stirrers. But with this amount, it's going to be the craft stick. And you just mix it up really good. See, this isn't an exact science with the reducer either. Sometimes it's too much, sometimes it's not enough, and you just adjust it. I've gotten to the point where I can just pretty much tell by sight. But I'll give you a general guideline here. With the Createx, it's normally, see, and this is looking pretty good. They say to add up to 25% of their reducer. See, my airbrush and the way I like to spray, I do prefer the paints thinner. I've seen instances, and I have done it just for a few things, very small things. Just sprayed or dropped this right into the airbrush and sprayed it right out of the bottle. But I do recommend thinning it. And this works with any of the Createx, even the pearls. The pearl, I've got, what, 10 or 12 different pearl colors. And that's exactly how I thin those. Just stir everything up, and it looks good. Now, without the retarder, they say add one to 2 drops. I've got retarder in my thinner mixture, but I'm still going to put a couple drops in. It's not overdoing it, it's not too much, and it just helps to level it as you're spraying it. Not so much on the lighter coats, but when you get to the heavier coats. Just stir it up really good. Once again, let it roll down. I like the viscosity of it. I like the consistency, so that's good. So on this one, basically it was 2 parts paint to 1 part thinner. And again, adjust accordingly if your airbrush sprays. If it sprays too thin, if it sprays too heavy and it spits and sputters, you're going to want to thin it down a little bit more. But pretty good guideline here. I'm going to get it sprayed into my, or poured into my cup through a strainer here. I always use these strainers for water-based paints because they tend to dry and leave clumps. Seems like much more than lacquer paints. I've not used lacquer paints through my airbrush yet, but I can pretty much put 2 and 2 together. That lacquer paints aren't going to quite dry on you like water-based. Okay, so I'm going to get things set up and I'm going to get it sprayed on my car. And the paint is on. I used 4 coats of the opaque white. How I do it, I showed you mixing it. I spray 2 coats that are light to medium coats, not too wet, not too heavy. Then I sprayed a medium coat, and then I sprayed a medium to heavy coat as my final coat. And I think it covered it pretty darn well. Pretty nicely. Very smooth. It's already dry, not cured, but it's already dry. Stuff does not take long to dry. But going back to the paint, you saw me mix it. I told you how I sprayed it. I use, this is my airbrush, the Gallery Advanced Series, GAD 39, GHAD 39. You get a .35 and a .5 needle and nozzle for it. So pretty convenient, pretty slick. I love this airbrush. I have 2 of them actually, and just an awesome airbrush. I love the needle and nozzle system. I can't even explain it to you, but it works great. Easy to clean. I highly recommend trying this thing out. Very nicely priced, $45.99 on Amazon, but I got both of mine on sale. They run them on sale from time to time. I got both of mine for $28.99 each. Super crazy cheap for a really nice airbrush. So that's what I use. The .35 needle and nozzle, I use that. And on my compressor, I have the air set at 22 pounds. I spray it at 22 pounds of pressure with the mixture that I use and that airbrush and needle and nozzle size. 22 pounds. Okay? Hopefully that's pretty much all the information you'll need. And here's the chassis now painted. I got the gas tank painted aluminum. Everything else is just black. Here are the disc brakes. The tires, the front and the rear tire, those are all set. I showed you those earlier. So those are ready to go. The engine is painted in a blue. Maybe not the factory blue for that year, but fairly close. Transmission's painted aluminum. I just got to paint the heads in aluminum. I'm gonna hand paint those in aluminum and then start assembling that. The wheels and tires are mostly done. Now, basically what I did in a roundabout way was painted them in Ammo by MIG matte aluminum. And then I just used my Tamiya X31 titanium gold here and brush painted inside of the spokes there. Got that. And then I took my Createx Opaque Black with my real thin eyeliner mascara brush here and very carefully just painted the lug nuts. I still have to get the valve stem in there and paint that. And see what I'm going to do with the center cap. I'm going to do some more research. So I'm not quite done with these yet, but pretty close. Pretty close. They look pretty good. I'm pretty happy with them. Other things, you know, the leaf spring rear end, have radiator shroud and support, all that kind of stuff. The seats with the interior tub. So this is a darker brown. I did a lot of research, and a lot of these interiors, they didn't really have, you know, the center consoles were a different color. A lot of them were black, even in the tan interior. So I did it in a dark brown to kind of match a car that I saw, that I Googled, that I liked pretty good. So there's interior tub, just needs some detailing. I got to detail all this stuff yet, along with the dashboard. I can pop my toothpick out that's holding that. Again, in the dark brown. I need to get some clear on it, some satin clear. And the steering wheel, I'll get the spokes painted silver inside there. I think that's what they are. So that's that. And now I'm moving on to the body. It has been obviously painted white that you saw earlier. And then I put on 4 coats of Createx UVLS clear. I should have used the high gloss, but I used the gloss because I always use the high gloss on Createx. But I had a brain malfunction. I originally put some pearl white on this and I didn't like the look of it, so I just painted another coat of opaque white over the pearl white. And pearl white, I was definitely going to use this, and my brain got locked on the pearl white, and when I painted it opaque white, I didn't transition my brain into the high gloss. So stuff like that happens to me. But anyway, it's on. I don't know about doing any wet sanding or polishing. I might do a small bit with like maybe 8,000 and then 12,000 or something. We'll see. But it's on pretty smooth, and it's pretty shiny and pretty glossy. I don't know how much glossier and shinier I can get the white. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens. I'll give it a few days and I'll figure that out. But that's where I'm at. I have some detail painting to do now. I'll see if I need to wet sand and polish it, and then I'll get the decals on and stuff like that. But you'll see that either in the next update or in the reveal. I'll try to get another update out there before I get to the reveal. Okay, so stay tuned for that. I'll see you then. Thanks for watching Stumpy Grump Scale Speed Shop.